Professor Tribe, we just heard from one of your former students, Jamie Raskin, outlining the case against Donald Trump. Another of your former students, the Attorney General, will be receiving this report, as will his special prosecutor, Jack Smith. What are you expecting the Justice Department to do with this report?
Well, I expect that both Jamie Raskin and Merrick Garland will take seriously the principle that under our system of justice, you don't go after only the foot soldiers and let the masterminds and the ones who pulled the strings get a pass. And I think that will translate in practical terms into using all of the tools that Andrew Weissman in your earlier segment emphasized are available to the Justice Department to fill in whatever blanks remain in the absolutely magnificent report that we saw summarized today. There were a few gaps, particularly with respect to the offense of seditious conspiracy. I think one of your guests said that was left out. No, it wasn't. There was a specific discussion of seditious conspiracy in the summary of the report, but the summary said that we're not quite ready to recommend indicting for that, although some people lower down on the food chain are on trial for it now and others have been convicted. But the most important of the offenses, the one that would lead to automatic disqualification from holding any future office, was the offense of insurrection. And what's important about that is a point that was made and will not be lost on either Merrick Garland or his special counsel, Jack Smith. It was a point made in the report today, and that was that the House of Representatives already convicted Donald Trump of insurrection. They indicted him. They said that the evidence is compelling. And that was a bipartisan vote. When it went to the Senate, there was a majority, a bipartisan majority, to find him guilty. There weren't the requisite 2/3, but the reason was made very explicit by Leader McConnell and others. And that was that by that point, Trump was no longer in office and therefore couldn't be removed. They made, I think, the mistaken decision that therefore he couldn't really be convicted. Now the baton is passed to the Justice Department. The excuse that he's no longer president can't be used as a basis for passing the buck. In fact that he's no longer president means that he no longer has the shield that the opinion of the Office of Legal Counsel provided while he was president. Now nothing remains to hold him accountable other than a series of indictments brought by the Department of Justice. And if you look at the mountain of evidence accumulated and carefully orchestrated by the committee thus far, it seems to me that it would be quite impossible for the special counsel to do anything other than return several indictments for the crimes that are involved in today's referral, setting aside all of the crimes involving top secret materials at Mar-a-Lago. If the department doesn't proceed, that is, if the special counsel does not return indictments through his grand jury, he would have an obligation, moral and political, if not explicitly legal, to explain why not. And it's very clear that if he recommends an indictment, the Merrick Garland that I know is not going to interfere with him the way Rod Rosenstein was interfering with the special counsel Mueller. And it seems to me that what that all means is that we are going to see quite early in the next year, probably by March, a series of indictments of the former president. And I think that that's what's going to be needed for the accountability that Liz Cheney rightly pointed out at the beginning of today's hearing, the accountability without which the Republic will be in grave danger.